Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be doing book reviews on Lord of Shadows and Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy by Cassandra Clare. Lord of Shadows is book 2 in Cassandra Clare's The Dark Artifices series, following the Blackthorn children as they search for the Black Volume of the Dead, a very powerful and dangerous spell book. Everyone wants this spell book for their own reasons, and it's up to Julian and Emma to make sure the book winds up in the right hands. And in the meantime, Julian and Emma are fighting their attraction to one another, considering that it's forbidden for parabatai to fall in love. The consequences of them staying together could have deadly fallout and even put those they love in peril. So just a quick heads up, there will be absolutely no spoilers for this book. Book 2, but there might be some spoilers that pop up from book 1, so make sure you have read the first book at least before getting into my review here. Whew, oh boy, you guys, this book 2 in the Dark Artifices series, my god, things got intense, things got super sexy, and things got tragically depressing. That's the best words I can use for this book. Intense, sexy, and tragically depressing. And this was definitely super amazing from start to finish. I think it had a really great flow and pace to it. I was definitely never bored with it. I think the one unfortunate downside to this book is the fact that it is a middle book. And a lot of times the middle book in a series, a lot of times that book is the setup for the final book. You know what I mean? And that's definitely what this book felt like. I mean, there were definitely things going on, things that added to the plot, but a lot of it definitely felt like the big setup for the final book more than anything. Because what this book is doing, it's definitely massively fleshing out the characters. That includes the main characters, the supporting characters, characters you didn't think were important in the first book, but they're definitely important in this book. So yeah, not only is that happening, fleshing out the characters, but yeah, everybody's allegiances are flip-flopping all over the place in this book. And even though this book is like 700 pages, when I'm just sitting here thinking about the book, like I said, there are things that happen, but I can just list off only a few of the major plot arcs. There's seriously only a couple plot arcs that kind of weave together. Like I said, it's all a big setup mostly for the final book, more than anything. And I wrote down what those few little plot arcs are, and it all has to do with the Blackthorns looking for the Black Volume of the Dead. They take a trip to the Unseelie realm, encounter the Seelie Queen, they upset some people along the way, they are hunted by some Unseelie warriors, known as the Riders, which are very scary dudes, by the way. And yeah, that's kind of it for the major plot arcs in this novel. And the rest of it is mostly character stuff, which is fantastic. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, a novel, a trilogy like this, you really do need to flesh out the characters. So yeah, even though there wasn't a hell of a lot of plot going on in some ways, at least there's the good thing of the massive character growth and development for every character. Now, I will admit, I did get a little frustrated with the sheer amount of romances going on in this novel. I swear to God, I think everybody was in a love triangle. Was it just me? I feel like everybody was in a love triangle, and you know what? I think it was verging into more than just love triangles. It was verging into like love quadrangles on occasion. It was very confusing, you guys, very confusing. It's like, who am I supposed to be shipping? Because you know what happened? I found myself shipping everybody. Every goddamn character I was shipping together. It was like a big orgy of shipping. And you know what? That's not just a problem with this book, this trilogy. It's a problem with all of Cassandra Clare's books. She does it in The Mortal Instruments, she does it in The Infernal Devices. Yeah, just all of these romances, love triangles, love quadrangles. It's just all in her books. And you know what? What's wrong with being single? You guys, what, does Cassandra Clare have something against single people? Because that's what it feels like. It's like she feels the need that every damn character has to have somebody, no matter how small a character you are. I'll tell you what though, I won't complain about Mark and Kieran. Mercy, my god, you guys, I could definitely do with, she could write a whole nother damn trilogy with Mark and Kieran, and I'll be satisfied. I love those two. And, you know, even though I love Julian and Emma, their relationship was just starting to weave into melodrama, if you will, starting to turn into a big soap opera. I was starting to get a little frustrated with their antics and whatnot. It's like, I know, you know, that's the big thing that was revealed in book 1. Parabatai are not allowed to fall in love. It's forbidden, because if they fall in love, bad things start happening, and they can be driven to madness and whatnot. So it's all very dire and crazy, and there the two of them are still not denying their feelings for one another, and seriously, it gets very melodramatic. So, despite the numerous love quadrangles going on in this book, you know, that's really kind of just the one downside for me, and that's kind of just my opinion. Other people who read this book, you may love all of the love quadrangles going on. But, yeah, like I said, this book is definitely a big setup for the final book. It's a big character book in some ways, really fleshing out a lot of these characters quite deeply. Yeah, and when you get to that ending, you guys, you get to the ending of this book, it's all worth it, because the ending, you're just left there like, oh my god, you're speechless. So overall, you guys, just to end this review for this book, overall, I love this book. I can't wait for the third and final book, see where the story is going, where the characters are going, what Cassandra Clare has next, because I have a feeling she's going to tease another series. Good God, how many books are going to be in the Shadowhunter universe, you guys? Is Cassandra Clare ever going to stop? Because I feel like she never is. But yeah, love this book. Fantastic from start to finish. Definitely cannot wait for the third one, because I definitely think it's going to be a heart puller. I have a feeling I'm going to be crying. So, let's move to Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy. Return to Cassandra Clare's Shadowhunter universe with Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy, compiling 10 short stories featuring Simon Lewis as he goes on a journey to become a Shadowhunter. So, just a quick heads up about this particular book. I'm not going to be sharing any spoilers from any of the short stories in this book, but there may be spoilers that pop up from the Shadowhunter universe in general, especially from the Mortal Instruments, that I might briefly discuss in this review. I really loved this bind-up. Yeah, guys, I freaking loved it to bits. And the other bind-up that came out, they did one for Magnus Bane that was called The Bane Chronicles. And I was so looking forward to The Bane Chronicles. Magnus Bane is one of my favorite characters. The thing is, though, The Bane Chronicles was a bit disappointing because I ended up not loving every story. There were more upsets than good stories in that collection. The thing is, though, Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy, because I had my concerns about this, because even though I do love Simon, Simon's not one of my favorites. I love him, obviously, but yeah, it's like I kind of need him in small doses sometimes. So yeah, I was a little concerned reading a whole book with him, and I was just pleasantly surprised with this whole collection of short stories. I think I enjoyed every single one for the most part. I mean, there were some that were better than others, but for the most part, I loved every single story, and I can't say the same about the Bane Chronicles. Now, the one downside that happened to me with this particular bind-up of stories is the last time that I read the Mortal Instruments series, it's been, I think, quite a number of years since I read that series. And I remember in the final book, what was the final book? City of Heaven, I'm looking over here, City of Heavenly Fire, I think was the last book in Mortal Instruments. I remember Simon, something happening to Simon, and he ends up sacrificing himself, and he ends up losing his memory, and he doesn't remember everything that he did as both a human and as a vampire and whatnot. So yeah, there was all of that plot detail that I was very fuzzy about, that I couldn't remember. So yeah, kind of getting into this bind-up, I was a little confused, because I was like, okay, what happened exactly to Simon. The thing is, though, I mean, if you want to think about it this way, because Simon can't remember what was going on, you know, before he goes to the Shadowhunter Academy, it's kind of okay if you, the reader, don't remember certain things. Because, yeah, he doesn't remember, it's kind of okay if you don't remember. You kind of are filling in the blanks alongside him, I suppose, if you want to think about it that way. So yeah, if you can't remember the mortal instruments that good, it's kind of okay. Don't worry, don't freak out. So yeah, my lack of remembrance of what exactly technically happened to Simon in the final Mortal Instruments book, it definitely did not dampen my enjoyment of this bind-up. Like I said, I freaking loved this bind-up of stories. They were just so good, so compelling. I think they really added something to Simon as a character. Because with the Bane Chronicles, I was expecting a lot of Magnus's character, you know, to really be developed and for us to learn some new things about him, and I feel like we didn't really learn anything new about Magnus Bane. But Simon, I mean, I feel like we were kind of learning new little things about him in every story, and he was learning new things about himself as well. And like the Bane Chronicles, this is written by 4 different authors. And good thing, you can't tell the difference between the writing styles, I don't think. So that's a good thing. I felt like everything was cohesive and made sense, that all of the authors, they were all on the same page, you know what I mean? So yeah, not distracting at all, having 4 different authors. And I think every author, they captured Simon as a character brilliantly, you know what I mean? Simon, there's a particular way he moves and walks, the way he thinks, his sense of humor, especially his sense of humor. And I think every author captured the character of Simon perfectly. And there were seriously many occasions that I found myself laughing out loud, which is a good thing. If a book can physically make me laugh out loud, that's a thumbs up. And I also really enjoyed the supporting characters in this novel, because even though, you know, the Mortal Instruments characters like Jace and Clary and Alec and Isabel, they all make cameo appearances throughout the short stories. The authors do not fall back on those characters and bring them to the fore, you know, and then put Simon in the background, because Simon is always in the front of all of these stories. And yeah, I really liked the new supporting characters, which I didn't think I would. I loved all of the students that were introduced at Shadowhunter Academy, and I loved George Lovelace. You guys, precious George Lovelace. I wish I could talk about spoilers. I can't. But let's just say, George Lovelace, he got me. So, like I keep saying, overall, I enjoyed this bind-up. I enjoyed it a hell of a lot more than I did the Bane Chronicles. And this is definitely a must, I think. If you're a fan of the Shadowhunter universe, if you especially love Simon Lewis, this is definitely the book for you. It's all him. It's all about him, you guys. And like I said, I had my doubts and my concerns. I just ended up being very pleasantly surprised with this bind-up. So, that's it for these book reviews, you guys. In the comments below, have you guys read either of these books? Do you plan on reading any of them? And are you fans of Cassandra Clare's Shadowhunter universe? What's your favorite book? Maybe you have favorite characters. Just let me know your thoughts down below. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like this video, you may like these other videos. Bye, guys.